going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again for another match preview as Champions League nights return to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tomorrow night against Villarreal in what is set to be a massive start to our Champions League campaign. Absolutely vital we do get off to a winning start at home to Villarreal with some massive games coming up. The Champions League, it's where it's at, and I'm all for it, and I'm absolutely delighted to be back in the competition. Joining me today to preview the game tomorrow, we've got Brains McLeod in the house. How are we doing, Brains? How are we feeling?
All good, man. It's all good. Positive days at Spurs. It's all trajectory is all in the right direction.
And that's a lot of what Romero's been saying as well. But before we get into that, we're going to get into all the quotes and all the predicted lineup. I just want to share the love and show some love to our sponsors, Betmate, who are sponsoring today's stream. Big up to them. Go and click on the QR code on screen right now and show them some love. We have a free pot code for tomorrow. We have a league which a lot of people have been getting involved with over the last few game weeks. This is my team for tomorrow's game against Villarreal. What Betmate is, it's a fantasy game which you can actually win real money. It's a 7-a-side. If you use your football knowledge, you can actually... there's real money to be won and up for grabs. £100 prize pool for tomorrow's free pot against Villarreal. My team, I've got Luis Jr. in goal, the Villarreal keeper, because in this game, for every save a keeper makes, they get a point. So I think he could be making a lot of saves tomorrow. So I went for him. Van de Ven and Romero at the back line, mainly because I wasn't sure what fullback's going to play for us. So I went for Van de Ven and Romero. Xavi Simons is my captain next to Rodrigo Bentancur, who I'm pretty sure is going to play tomorrow. It's interesting to note midfielders get points for tackles and interceptions, so Bentancur could be well in the points tomorrow. And up front, Richarlison and Brennan Johnson, two players who got rested on the weekend, who I've got a good feeling might be back in the team tomorrow. So that is my team. If you think you can beat me, you think get more points than me, there's £100 up for grabs. Join the free pot code for Tottenham versus Villarreal tomorrow with Betmate. If you're on the app, the pot code is WATTV-05 for the free pot code if you want to join, or you just click the QR code on screen right now and you get directed straight to the pot there tomorrow. It's a free-to-play pot, and there's £100 prize pool for tomorrow's pot. So go join in the fun, compete against me and Ben for £100, and big up to Betmate, our sponsors. Go show them some love. All right, now let's get back into the video. So, Gav, we're going to do a predicted lineup now. So the team news going into tomorrow's Champions League game is not much has changed. Dom Solanke's still injured, not available for tomorrow. He said he's moving in the right direction, whatever that means, but he's unavailable. He obviously still joins James Maddison, Dejan Kulusevski, Radu Dragushin, Kota Taka, and Yus Bissouma all being unavailable for tomorrow. What's interesting though and positive is Dragushin is now consistently training with the first team. I just watched a video today and he was back again with the first team training. Frank was pretty adamant it's probably going to be October, November time till we see him. So I wouldn't start getting excited about him being imminent, but it's very positive after that big injury. He is back training with the team. But yeah, still no Dom Solanke. Just a quick word on that. Brains, you know, Solanke was meant to be a little knock, and it was meant to be something that wasn't going to keep him out for, a significant period. I think even pre-season, he had a little knock, and then he was supposed to be playing, and then got delayed. Is this concerning you? You thinking is there more to it? Because Frank is playing it down, but what do you read into the situation?
Yeah, I think it's probably one of those like innocuous injuries when a manager is playing it down and when a kind of medical staff are kind of watching it and it's going day to day. It's probably like tendon or something in the ankle, like maybe the bone, like there's kind of detachment or whatever. It's one of those ones where you can have a session and it can feel good, and then it's like 10 minutes after the session you're like struggling to walk on it or whatever. So it sounds like it is the ankle, right? Am I right in saying
ankle? Yeah.
The ankle thing, yeah. It's just a difficult one because it's sometimes when it's muscle, it's easier to see what it is and rehab it. But if it's ankle, it could be tendon, it could be like gristle in the bone connecting. So it's a tough one, man. It's just he's got the Richarlison syndrome, you know, like no injuries, comes to us, injured all the time, you know.
Yeah, so. I mean, I really hope it's not serious. obviously we got Moani in now, and we have Richarlison who's been stepping in pretty well. But we know Dom Solanke what he offers, so let's hope he gets back as soon as possible.
The thing is that it could be serious because normally with ankles, if it's just like not serious, you just strap it up and you can protect it. You can protect its movement. So it must be about pain.
Well, it sounds like the questions Frank was being asked and him as well, what he was responding, saying there's a possibility it might need surgery, but they're trying to avoid surgery. I know ankles can be quite difficult, especially when they get rolled, and sometimes they don't fully heal. And look, I'm not a medical expert. Just full context, by the way, in our WhatsApp group, I always call Brains Dr. McLeod because he's the one I go to for medical advice. He's had many, many injuries in his long football career, so he knows what's what usually when it comes to injuries. It's just worrying that he's always playing it down, Frank, and then it keeps getting delayed and delayed. It's just a story that we saw last season, isn't it? Injuries initially being played down, and then all of a sudden it's been 3 months, and every week we're hearing, oh, it's just a knock, he won't be long. And then, 3 months later, we're still there.
Ankle injuries actually are a big part of calf strains as well. When the ankle's like turning or not connecting right, it pulls down on the calf nerve. So yeah, it's just something you can't actually mess around with it, especially for someone who like with kind of long legs who springs off it. He could just be getting like pain shooting into the ankle, and then you just don't know what you're going to do there. So it's like it'll affect his turning, it'll affect his touch, it'll affect the way he moves his ankle. Just taking the ball in. Yeah, it's a tough one. James Maddison had it for ages, didn't he? Like his ankle would just roll all the time.
All right, let's get into our predicted lineup, which is, I think not an easy one to predict considering all the changes we had on the weekend.
I've been trying to predict yours. Like I've been trying to predict
what I'm going to pick.
Not Frank's, yours.
Okay, so I think in goal we can all agree Vicario is going to be in, albeit. You'd like to think Kinski will get an opportunity at some point, but I don't think it's going to be tomorrow.
If he's not going to get an opportunity now, do you not think that's a bit of a bad sign? Because we've got this game, another game very soon after. Would it not be? I guess it's goalkeeper, so you don't really need to rest.
I think Doncaster he's going to come in, but it's a bit harsh, isn't it? He's going to get the cup games, but I just can't see Frank not picking Vicario. I think I think especially Champions League first night, we want that settled backline, I think.
Yeah. It's a good team as well. You can't really mess around.
Yeah, exactly. Villarreal, no mugs. They finished 5th last season in La Liga. All right, backline. I'm undecided on the fullbacks. Obviously, Spence and Porro played on the weekend. They've been our number one pairing so far this season. Played every game. Yeah. So the fact they've played every game, does that mean one of them maybe gets a rest here, or is the fact we want to keep that consistency? Obviously, Doggy's come on in the last 2 games, I believe, against West Ham and against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Came on, looked decent as well, I felt. So I don't think he'll have any qualms about putting him in, but it's all about who does he take out if one of them has to come out. Porro's obviously played a lot of football, but he just seems so resilient, doesn't he? He just seems to never get injured, never get tired. Spence doesn't seem... Look, he's playing well. I don't think he deserves to be dropped. But if you're going to bring in a Doggy, who comes out? Or do we bring in him at all? Maybe he doesn't come in.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, you kind of do want players. There's not upsetting what you've got, but you also need good players to get starts and get big amounts of minutes, So I think you probably do have to bring Destiny in because you want him to get back up to the level of the other two, So I'd say he has to come in, and it's hard to take Porro out because he seems to be quite important to how we play out. So,
you think Spence maybe gets a rest in this one?
Yeah, and it really should be seen as a rest rather than anything else because he's so pivotal right now. So, yeah, I mean, my personal pick would be Spence to start, but then because he didn't play as many minutes, and so there is even though Porro seems to just. He seems so durable. He can play forever, but he is playing a lot. Didn't he play 290s with Spain?
Yeah, for Spain. Yeah,
it's a lot, man.
It could, so it could be a good opportunity to rest him as well. Obviously, Brighton away on the weekend, but I also kind of feel like if there's an opportunity to play Spence and a Doggy, I think Brighton away might be a better opportunity than this game.
Yeah.
So maybe I feel like he might play Porro and a Doggy here with maybe Spence coming back in at right back potentially on Saturday.
Mm.
What do you reckon
Yeah.
about that? I kind
Yeah.
of like
No, I
that
think
idea
I think that works.
because Brian got great wingers. I think Villarreal got decent wide players, but I just feel like, but as you say, Porro's so vital to our build-up. I don't know if you want to lose him in this game. I
Yeah.
know, but I do feel Doggy's going to come in. So we're going to go Spence and a Doggy at fullback. I think centre backs speak for themselves. Unless we're saying, is there any chance he goes to a back three in this one? Does he mix things up?
That was the
I
yeah.
know, I know Villarreal play a 4-4-2 kind of system. So I'm trying to think, judging by their setup, would a back three give us any advantage there? Or is it just worth just sticking with the 4-3-3, outnumbering them in the middle?
Every time I think that he could go to a back three, I just think, but then he wouldn't have let, because that, you increase the amount of percentage chance of an injury to any one of three. So it's kind of like if you've sent Luca away and Kota's not ready, Dragison's not ready, you wouldn't risk it, right? It's like you either just play two. The other thing I was thinking of, does Danzo come in for either one of he's not going to come in for Mickey because then what's Romero going to go on that side? Dan's, it seems too much complex. This is why, like in the window, you were thinking like, oh, we could just we needed to get another left-sided player. So what is Davies come in? That's a bit much of a risk. I don't think you
Yeah.
upset the apple cart just yet.
I kind of feel like Romero and Van der Ven will continue. I think that partnership's been working so well. It's such a big game as well. To get off to a winning start against Villarreal is going to be so vital. I don't think he's in a position to start picking and choosing with Danso in this one. I think Romero and Van der Ven
And you can
has
see
to come in.
the style of where they're positioning isn't really putting them through that much pressure to make extreme runs back and stuff. So I can't, I mean, touch wood, it's not that I can't see them get injuries, but so far so good. And the style of play being more accommodating to, prevent injuries, if you know what I mean.
Up against Nicolas Pepe, who's been playing up front recently for Villarreal. So that's going to be quite interesting. All right, midfield is an interesting one because
It's the hardest.
it's the hardest one because we have, in theory, 5 players in midfield who are all kind of undroppable at the moment. Paulinho, you can't really leave him out. Bentancur was left out on the weekend, so you're thinking, is he going to come back in for this one? I'm pretty sure he was left out so he could play on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Bergval, unbelievable performance against West Ham. You can't leave him out. Pape Sarr, you could argue, is our full midfielder. So how can you leave him out?
Yeah.
And then you've got Xavi Simons as well, who you kind of have to play him unless you play him on the wing. So how the hell are we supposed to pick a pivot out of those? And obviously we didn't even mention Archie Gray, who I don't think is probably going to play in this one, but he's obviously an option. Like, how are we supposed to pick a double pivot out of that? It's a massive game on tomorrow as well. I can tell you, Villarreal, they play usually Danny Prejo, who's like, a deep-lying City midfielder, next to a Thomas Partey in midfield. So that's kind of how they play their 4-4-2. So, Partey, less said about him the better, but he's obviously a very physical midfielder who's, he bosses things in there. Prejo's less physical though, and he's one who, if you get legs around him, he might struggle to keep up, but he's obviously very good on the ball, so you want to just shut him down very quickly, making sure he's not able to spread those passes. So judge with that, do you want a little bit of creativity? Do you put a Bergval next to a Bentancur or Paulinho? Do you do what we've done in the big games, which is Paulinho next to Bentancur, and it's kind of worked to good effect? How do you assess it?
Because I think I see it from a point of view of, when you saw the training footage of everything they were doing with Simmons, it was like, oh, well, wow, they're really drilling to bring him centrally to get on the half turn. And then you see the game with West Ham, you're like, what was that all about? But so they're going to work on stuff. It doesn't mean they have to do that on the weekend. Like they have to have a long-term plan. So, but then do you go first Champions League game? Is this the game you all of a sudden put him central? Then if you're going to put him central, you have to put really strong players behind him. So probably Bentancur and Paulinho, so that they can split and make the holes through the centre front pick of the ball. So it's too much to put him in central now, because then you have to leave out Bergval or Sarr. So it seems a little bit more safer, not just pragmatic, but just while they get the system right, while they get Colo up to speed, while they get the attack working, it's still there's so many variables on how this system, this attacking system is going to work that it's something they need to work towards rather than like throw Xavi into the deep end right now, drop your on form players. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff to mess up, you know? So I can't see him as much as I want him, and I'd be tempted to put Paulinho and Bentancur in the same game, but I just can't see it happening. I just
So you think
can't see it.
so you feel like it's Paulinho and Bentancur together in
No,
the middle?
unless that's only if you're going to put Simmons in.
Oh, so
No,
you feel like but I think Bentancur's definitely going to start. I just got a
Bentancur,
feeling.
yeah.
I think he's the one because he got left out. I think he got left out, so he will start this game, and he's been a big player for us. So it's about the makeup of the other two, and then maybe even the left winger comes into it. If we don't, well, Johnson didn't play on the weekend. Does that mean he's
This is
going to
what I
start?
mean, yeah. So he's most likely going to start, but
But then
then
Simmons has to play, surely. He's doing Simmons on the bench.
I think he has to play. But I think it's most likely that they probably will have him on the left again, which is probably not where we want to see him. It's probably not where he or even Frank wants to see him. But it's just like right now, when you've got like Sarr playing the way he is or Bergvall playing the way he is, you can't really just go back to a lower double pivot and then have Simmons there because you change so much, you know. And maybe you're ready. Maybe they're ready to change it right now. But I think it's a little early. You know, you want to see that change be gradual.
But I also kind of feel like the fact they play a 4-4-2, could it not be the perfect time to play a Simmons essentially? Because maybe you got that little outnumbering in the middle.
Yeah.
If could he start finding pockets of space, kind of
yeah.
behind those two kind of pivots? Especially given that Danny Parejo isn't the most physical as well, so he might struggle to cover ground. If you get, two midfielders next to Simmons. Like, I think that could really benefit us in that kind of formation.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Like, if you're Frank and you go, let's. I think we're ready for it now because you kind of like offset some risk if you put Bentancur and Paulinho or even Bentancur and Sarr or Bergvall to be like that the lower double pivot. Then they'll kind of protect and create the lines through. For Simmons to come in as the central midfielder. It's the risk in, is the system ready to play it yet? But it counteracts by having strong lower double pivots. So I want to see it. I'd love to see it. It's just who do you put next to Bentancur? Do you go for Paulinho as being the safest? Or do you go for Bergvall or Sarr? Sarr's also played a lot of minutes as well.
He has. He started every game so far this season,
Yeah.
I think.
And international, didn't he play like 90s?
And he scored 2 goals as well on international duty. Oh god, this is so hard. It could really be any combination, couldn't it?
When has it been this? Because this is a good problem to have. When's the last time we actually had a squad of really good players to pick?
Yeah, which is where it's this hard to pick. I can't remember.
This is getting difficult now.
I feel like I feel like in a perfect world, I would want like Bergvall next to him with a Simmons in front and just like really take it to him, because I feel like if they're going to play a double pivot with Partey and Parejo, then I kind of feel like if they're going to play like that, unless they change it up, then if Bergvall's going to attract one of their attentions, then all of a sudden Simmons surely is going to have a lot of space to play into.
Yeah.
And you've got Bentancur there with a bit of solidity. Like, we could really have the legs over them and the solidity over them as well. So I feel like that could really work. But then again, it is risking being a bit it's just a bit being a bit weak in the middle. You're risking it. But I don't know if they're going to play Parejo in the middle against us in a just a 2 with a 4-4-2, not even with a 10 in front of him. I'm like, that's surely something we can exploit.
Yeah.
Like, surely we shouldn't need to have to overpower them. We can just overrun them.
So who do you go for next to Bentancur if it's between, say,
Bergvall or Sarr?
Yeah, say it's between those two. Who do you go for?
I think Sarr's a safer one, just because he's going to do the running and he's going to get back in position. He can overrun them. But I think the right one might be Bergvall, just so you get that ability to get a player in the pivot, to play on the half turn, play it forward, link up with Simmons.
Bergvall,
but so is Sarr. But so is Sarr.
I know. It's very difficult. It's like, it's a good situation, but
God, Sarr or Bergvall? What do you reckon in the chat? what are people saying? Is any?
And this will be the big decision that will get scrutinized if it's wrong as well.
I think cause it's, you know what? I think cause it's opening game. I reckon he might go a bit safer. So I reckon let's get Sarr there, Sarr in the pivot. So I think we're going to go Xavi Simons in the middle, in the 10.
Okay. Now this opens up a lot for the wings now. This kind of makes
I think Kuda's probably plays on the right. I'm guessing. I don't think we
Oh,
change
so
that.
okay. So you're definitely not going to leave Kudus out.
You think you might leave him out?
It's just I think the more start on the other side. 'Cause I think. Do you think Colo gets a start here, or do you think he comes on? Yeah.
I think he said he's ready to play 90 minutes if we need him to. I don't know the wording he said it if we need him to. I don't know. It kind of feels like.
You think maybe he comes on for like 30 or something?
Yeah, exactly. I think he comes off the bench. I think Brennan was rested on the weekend. I kind of feel like he comes back in. If we're saying Simons comes in into centre, I do think Brennan probably starts off the left. Although it was a problem when we had the Brennan-Kudus dynamic against Bournemouth, but maybe with Simons there, that can alleviate it a bit.
But this is just all about how, because we've been surprised a few times with starting lineups from Frank so far. We've thought, wow, didn't expect him to start, Tell against West Ham as the centre forward, So
it could be Odebear as well. Someone says Odebear could play on that side.
Odebear. I think you've got. It's interesting because Johnson still scores goals. He still is just very good at putting the ball in the net. So it's like you're trying to predict. It's like you're trying to predict what system they've got. But I would love. You've got limited time as well with Colin. He's on loan. I would love to see Colomani go in, but then it's like, do you just throw him in ahead of Odebear, Johnson? It's another good
depends how he's doing
situation.
in training, isn't it? Yeah, and he seems to have been playing some wider positions as well in training. I've seen, so definitely something to take note. I get the feeling he's not going to chuck him in from the start. That's just the feeling I get. Unless, look, he might have been so good, he feels like, look, this guy's great, we can just chuck him in, and he's going to be an upgrade. But I don't know.
If you're not going to throw him in now, you're not going to throw him in the Prem. It's like he's definitely going to play. He's got to get minutes in this game. He's got to, or else what are we doing? He's a fit, really strong player.
I guess the question is: did he not play on the weekend to play in this game, or just because he wasn't good against Bournemouth? I guess it's the question.
I think Johnson will get minutes as well. It's just
let's throw Colo in. Fuck it, let's do it.
Going all out.
Colo's going on the left hand side. I want to see that. I think Kudus has to play on the right.
Yeah.
I think Kudus has to play there, and I think obviously that leaves Richarlison up front, who did it again. Another player who he said was rested on the weekend because he had a lot of travelling time in Brazil. So I mean, look at that front four: Kudus, Simons, Moani, and Richarlison. You got the likes of Odebear, Johnson. Tell's not going to be on the bench, but Bergval. All on the bench, so a lot of talent there as well to change up. It really shows you the options we have. When even though we still got Kulusevski and Madison and Solanke all injured as well, so it's incredible, isn't it? I'm really like the look of that team.
Next 2 seasons is huge to like what we'll be able to do attacking wise. It's just going to take a bit of time to get it where it's at. Like all these, you think about how much potential and all the discussions of who could play where. This is it. Anyone you pick changes the dynamic of how it plays. So there's so much to figure out. It's going to take him quite a bit of time.
Yeah, I think Frank's still new in it, isn't he?
There's no better way to test things than in the game.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, that is our predicted lineup. Just run through it quickly. Vicari in goal, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven and Udogi along the back line. Sarr and Bentancur in the middle with Kudus, Simons, Moani supporting Richarlison up front. Brains, if that is the lineup, what's your score prediction?
I'm probably going to go for a 2-0.
2-0. Confident.
Yeah. And I think Simmons and Richarlison to get on the score sheet.
Simmons and Richarlison. I like the way you think. I'm going to go... I don't want to be pessimistic. I do get a feeling that this is Frank. It's Frank's first game in the Champions League. It's like when we played a team maybe similar quality against Bournemouth, we did struggle a bit. I don't think we'll lose, but I feel like it's not going to be a rollover. I reckon I can see being a draw, like a 1-1. I think it's going to be a difficult game, which, look, wouldn't be a great result, but draw first game, it's not the end of the world. I just get a feeling, I don't know, look, I'll be very impressed if we win tomorrow and win comfortably, considering Frank is all new. It's all new to him. To be honest, so it's going to be very interesting to see how we cope with all of that. All right, how much time you got left? You got like 8 minutes? Is that?
Yeah, I got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. All right. So let's